Hey Spurs fans, welcome back to another update on our San Antonio Spurs. Before we jump into today's breaking news, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. And here's something special for you. Everyone who subscribes and leaves a comment with their name and the city they're watching from will automatically be entered into our giveaway to win an official San Antonio Spurs jersey. So don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and comment your name and city below. Stay tuned, because the next Spurs fan wearing the jersey could be you. San Antonio did not tiptoe into the future, it punched a hole through it. By inking rookie guard Dylan Harper, the Spurs turned a procedural signing into a statement of intent, signaling a new offensive heartbeat and a renewed appetite for ascent in the Western hierarchy. The franchise's discretion remained intact, but the implications are loud. Harper arrives as the second overall selection in the 2025 draft, a 6'5" creator weighing 215 pounds whose combination of pace control and downhill force gives San Antonio a modern initiator with sturdy frame, elastic footwork, and fearless shot creation. At Rutgers, Harper authored a freshman year that felt less like adaptation and more like takeover. He averaged 19.4 points, 4.6 rebounds, and 4.0 assists, shooting just under half from the floor. More than the efficiency, it was the rhythm. Early clock bursts, patient mid-range pacing, and late-game poise that turned possessions into inevitabilities and set the program's freshman scoring mark with 564 points. Consistency is where prospects separate from hype. Harper reached double figures in 24 of 29 outings, stacking 20-point efforts in 20 games. That reliability earned Big Ten all-freshman recognition and all Big Ten third-team honors. But more telling was how defenses adjusted, loading early, showing length at the nail, and still found themselves chasing. Before college stardom, there was a winning engine. Raised in Franklin Lakes, New Jersey, Harper led Don Bosco Preparatory High School to a 2024 state crown, a run built on sturdy decision-making in tight games and a refusal to coast. He collected the Gatorade New Jersey Player of the Year and walked away as the most valuable player at both the McDonald's All-American Game and the Jordan Brand Classic, thriving under bright lights and dense pressure. International reps sharpened the edges. With USA Basketball, Harper suited up for the 2024 Junior National Select Team and competed at the 2023 FIBA Under-19 World Cup in Hungary. Those tournaments stress-test pace, physicality, and processing speed. Harper's ability to toggle roles, primary ball handler one possession, cutter, and secondary trigger the next, traveled well. What does this mean in San Antonio? Scheme fit comes first. Harper's strength and stride make him a credible driver against set defenses, while his patience unlocks short roll reads and weak side kickouts. In a Spurs system that demands clarity of purpose and precise spacing, he projects as a primary or co-primary initiator who can toggle between pick-and-roll orchestration and off-ball relocation, keeping tempo varied rather than predictable. The shot profile is promising and pragmatic. Harper thrives at the rim with balance through contact, draws help without panic, and leverages a steady pull-up to keep defenders honest. The mid-range cadence, one or two dribbles into a clean rise, pairs with developing catch-and-shoot consistency, a blend that travel well in playoff half-courts where first reads rarely survive. Defense is the quiet separator. With a strong chest and sound angles, Harper slides across matchups, using timely contests rather than gambles. His rebounding numbers for a guard hint at responsibility and awareness, crucial for igniting early offense without sacrificing structure. On a team that prizes communication, he fits the ethos: talk, tag, rotate, finish. Intangibles will set the timeline. Harper's poise in late-game possessions at Rutgers translates to trust and the Spurs culture. Film absorption, reps, accountability. Historically amplifies guards who enter with a sturdy floor and a teachable ceiling. Expect deliberate progression, targeted minutes, curated closing scenarios, and growing sets that expand as comfort and leverage increase. There's a curiosity that no press release can resolve. How quickly does Harper bend professional defenses? Early opponents will test him with length at the point of attack, stunts from the strong side, and rhythm disruption. His counters, escape dribbles, pocket passes, hesitation in a body will define how soon he moves from promising to problematic for scouting reports. The locker room dynamics matter as much as the playbook. Veterans will appreciate his controlled aggression and willingness to make the next pass. Younger teammates will mirror his preparation habits. San Antonio's development framework is designed to challenge without fracturing, and Harper's competitive temperament fits the calibrations of a team building layers rather than burning steps. Marketing and momentum follow competence. Harper's high school and college profile ensure instant visibility, but the attention that lasts comes from granular improvement, free throw rate, corner three volume, live dribble passing windows that transform highlight potential into winning machinery. The Spurs, methodical by nature, will let substance drive the story. The question framing the season is not whether Harper is good. He already is, but how steep his curve becomes inside a system that turns potential into production. The second overall tag brings weight. The Spurs' track record offers scaffolding. Between those poles lies the intrigue. How fast, how far, and how decisively he rewrites expectations. Call it a recalibration year with a focal point. San Antonio gains a guard who can carry possessions without compromising structure, a competitor forged in state titles, national showcases, and international windows. The franchise gains a narrative with teeth, a homegrown worker stepping into a city that rewards craft, patience, and relentless progress. What begins today is not a coronation, it is a construction. Dylan Harper's signing gives the Spurs an engine they can refine, a timeline they can accelerate, and a reason for opponents to plan harder. The future, once distant, now has a face, a cadence, and a pathway that points forward rather than merely promising it. Before we go on, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Your support keeps our Spurs coverage strong and brings you the latest updates straight from San Antonio. And jump into the comments. Tell us what you think about today's news. The atmosphere around the San Antonio Spurs training facility was anything but ordinary this week. What began as a routine practice session quickly transformed into a spectacle that left players, coaches, and media members stunned. The surprise unveiling of new reinforcements sent shockwaves through the basketball world, igniting conversations that stretched far beyond the hardwood. Reporters who had gathered expecting a standard mid-season workout were treated to a scene that felt more like a Hollywood premiere than a basketball practice. Cameras clicked furiously, microphones were thrust forward, and whispers of disbelief echoed across the gym as the Spurs introduced fresh faces who seemed poised to redefine the team's trajectory. The Spurs, long known for their disciplined approach and understated style, rarely indulge in theatrics. Yet this unveiling was different. It was bold, dramatic, and calculated to capture attention. The organization, often praised for its quiet efficiency, chose this moment to remind the league that surprises can still come from San Antonio. Players already on the roster appeared visibly taken aback. Some exchanged glances of curiosity, others of cautious optimism. The sudden arrival of new talent inevitably raises questions about chemistry, roles, and hierarchy. For a team built on trust and cohesion, the challenge of integrating unexpected reinforcements loomed large. The media, meanwhile, scrambled to piece together the story. Who were these new additions? How had the Spurs managed to keep such significant moves under wraps? In an era of constant leaks and social media speculation, the secrecy surrounding these signings was almost as shocking as the signings themselves. One of the reinforcements immediately drew attention with his commanding presence on the court. His size, agility, and confidence suggested a player ready to make an impact from day one. Observers noted how seamlessly he adapted to the Spurs system during drills, raising eyebrows among veterans and journalists alike. Another newcomer impressed with his versatility. Switching effortlessly between positions, he demonstrated a skill set that could provide the Spurs with much-needed flexibility. His ability to stretch the floor, defend multiple roles, and contribute in transition hinted at a tactical advantage the team had been missing. The coaching staff, led by Greg Popovich, maintained a calm exterior, though their eyes betrayed a spark of excitement. Popovich, a master of adaptation, seemed eager to test how these reinforcements could be woven into the fabric of the team. His reputation for maximizing talent suggested that these surprises were far from random. Fans following the developments online erupted with speculation. Social media timelines flooded with clips, photos, and theories. Was this the beginning of a new era for the Spurs? Could these reinforcements propel the team back into contention? The buzz was palpable, and the anticipation grew with each passing hour. Inside the gym, the intensity of the practice session escalated. Established players pushed harder, perhaps motivated by the sudden competition. The newcomers responded in kind, refusing to be overshadowed. The result was a training environment brimming with energy, where every drill felt like a battle for recognition. Veteran leaders on the team took it upon themselves to welcome the new faces. Their gestures of encouragement and guidance reflected the Spurs' culture of inclusivity. Yet beneath the camaraderie, there lingered an unspoken awareness. These reinforcements could alter the balance of power within the roster. The media coverage following the session was relentless. Headlines screamed of shock and surprise, while analysts debated the implications. Some praised the Spurs for their audacity, while others questioned whether such sudden changes could disrupt the team's rhythm. The narrative was complex, and opinions varied widely. For the newcomers, the spotlight was both exhilarating and daunting. They had been thrust into a storied franchise with a legacy of excellence. Expectations were high, and every move they made would be scrutinized. Yet their performances during the initial practice suggested they were ready for the challenge. The Spurs' decision to unveil reinforcements in such dramatic fashion spoke volumes about their intentions. This was not a team content with mediocrity. It was a franchise determined to reclaim relevance, to remind the league that San Antonio remains a force to be reckoned with. Observers noted how the reinforcements complemented existing strengths. Their arrival seemed less like a gamble and more like a calculated strategy. The Spurs had identified gaps and filled them with precision, a testament to the organization's enduring commitment to excellence. As the practice concluded, the mood remained electric. Players lingered on the court, exchanging thoughts and impressions. Coaches huddled in quiet discussion, while media members rushed to file stories. The sense of anticipation was undeniable. Something significant had just unfolded. In the days that followed, speculation continued to swirl. Analysts dissected every detail, from the newcomers' backgrounds to their potential roles. Fans debated lineups, rotations, and playoff scenarios. The Spurs had successfully captured the imagination of the basketball world. What made the moment truly remarkable was the element of surprise. In a league where information travels at lightning speed, the Spurs had managed to orchestrate a reveal that caught everyone off guard. It was a reminder that even in the modern era, mystery and drama still have a place in sports. The reinforcements themselves remained humble, expressing gratitude for the opportunity and respect for the franchise. Their words resonated with fans, reinforcing the notion that they were not just talented athletes, but individuals ready to embrace the Spurs culture. Ultimately, the training session marked a turning point. It was more than just practice, it was a statement. The Spurs had shocked their roster, stunned the media, and reignited the passion of their fan base. Whether these reinforcements lead to victories remains to be seen, but one thing is certain. The basketball world will be watching San Antonio very closely. The ripple effect of the Spurs' shocking training session announcement was immediate and far-reaching. Within hours, sports networks across the United States had shifted their programming to cover the story, dissecting every detail of the reinforcement arrival. Analysts debated the potential impact on the Western Conference standings, while fans flooded online forums with theories about how these new players might alter the team's destiny. In San Antonio itself, the local community responded with a mix of excitement and pride. Longtime supporters who had endured seasons of rebuilding suddenly felt a surge of optimism. Bars, restaurants, and fan clubs buzzed with conversations about the newcomers, with many predicting that the Spurs were on the cusp of a renaissance. The city, deeply intertwined with the franchise's identity, seemed reinvigorated by the news. Nationally, the reaction was equally intense. Rival teams and their fan bases expressed concern, realizing that the Spurs might once again become a formidable opponent. Commentators pointed out that the element of surprise gave San Antonio a psychological advantage, forcing competitors to rethink their strategies. The notion that the Spurs had managed to keep such moves secret only added to the mystique. Social media platforms became a battleground of opinions. Clips from the training session went viral, garnering millions of views within hours. Hashtags related to the Spurs trended globally, and memes celebrating or mocking the reinforcements spread rapidly. The digital conversation highlighted how deeply the basketball community craves drama and unpredictability, and the Spurs had delivered both in abundance. Former players and legends of the franchise also weighed in. Some praised the organization for its boldness, recalling how the Spurs had historically thrived by making unconventional decisions. Others cautioned that sudden changes could disrupt team chemistry, emphasizing the delicate balance required to integrate new talent. Their voices added gravitas to the ongoing debate, reminding fans of the franchise's storied past. International media outlets picked up the story, underscoring the global reach of the NBA. Reports from Europe, Asia, and Latin America framed the Spurs' reinforcements as a potential turning point in the league's competitive landscape. For international fans, the surprise reinforced the allure of the NBA as a league where anything can happen, and where even established franchises can reinvent themselves overnight. Sponsors and business partners of the Spurs quickly recognized the marketing potential of the moment. Merchandise sales spiked as fans rushed to purchase jerseys and memorabilia linked to the new players. Corporate partners began brainstorming campaigns to capitalize on the heightened attention, knowing that the reinforcements had reignited interest in the team. The broader NBA community also took notice. League officials reportedly admired the secrecy and spectacle of the unveiling, seeing it as a model for how franchises could generate buzz. The Spurs' move was interpreted not just as a basketball decision, but as a masterclass in branding, demonstrating how sports organizations can capture headlines in an era dominated by entertainment value. Within the Spurs locker room, the repercussions continued to unfold. Established players faced the reality of increased competition, while younger talent saw opportunities to learn from the reinforcements. The dynamic created a new layer of intensity in practices, ensuring that every player was motivated to prove their worth. The internal ripple effect promised to elevate the team's overall performance. Ultimately, the news reverberated far beyond the confines of the training facility. It became a cultural moment, sparking conversations about loyalty, adaptation, and ambition. The Spurs had not only shocked their roster and the media, but had also reignited the imagination of basketball fans worldwide. The repercussions of this surprise were still unfolding, but one thing was clear. The Spurs had successfully reinserted themselves into the center of the NBA narrative. That's it for today's update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay on top of every exclusive San Antonio Spurs news drop, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. And don't forget, your opinion matters to Spurs Nation. Share your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next video.